Welcome back, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining me here today. My name is Pritesh with KAIZN Crypto. And in this video, I had the opportunity to speak with the team at iFoncier. They are building a system for Land Registry in Africa. It's very exciting to hear about the different use cases and the potential opportunities for blockchain technology, and more specifically, Cardano, and how that's going to impact developing parts of the world, specifically in Africa. So learned a lot from this conversation. The team is top notch. They've really got their stuff together with how they want to implement this. They've already got some MOUs signed with municipalities in Africa, and we talked about that here in this video. They do also have a Project Catalyst proposal. So if you would like to learn more about this project and if you want to support them, be sure to check out the link in the description. I do have that Project Catalyst proposal included for you there as well. So if you all do enjoy this type of content, definitely be sure to drop a like for me. It really lets me know that you enjoy these types of videos. I love hearing your feedback as well. If there's a suggestion for future videos that you would like to have me take a look at, go ahead and let me know down in the comment section. And if you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Everything that we talk about here is related to the Cardano ecosystem. All right, everyone. Well, lots to go over in this video. Let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm really excited to be joined by two very special guests, Larba and Josh. So Josh has been on the channel before, but Larba is a new guest. So guys, welcome. How are you both doing today?
Doing good, man. Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us. Very good. We are feeling well.
That's awesome. I'm really excited to talk to you both. Today, it's going to be a topic of land registry. So this is a really interesting topic that you guys are bringing up. I'd love to just let you guys take the stage and tell us a little bit about your project.
Mm-hmm. So shall I go, Josh?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So thank you very much first for inviting us to your show, for accepting us to talk about what we are planning with the land management, land registry in Africa. We have started a project called iFoncier. iFoncier is we intend to tokenize or to organize in the new manner, in the new way, to manage the lands in Africa. And that's the first country we are targeting is Burkina Faso, where I am from. And Burkina Faso is somewhere in West Africa, in Middle and West Africa. It's quite not a small country, so it's quite a big one. And land management have been always a big issue. And what we are seeing since years is that it's becoming increasingly very, very problematic. We see that there is a failed management of land, and which is leading time to time to very, very difficult situation, even leading to community conflict with deadly consequences. People are dying because of land, and that is shouldn't happen. And that is why we as social entrepreneurs and also as digital expert, we have decided to look for solution. What could be our technological response to the issue of land management in Africa, and especially in Burkina Faso. We also know about, let's say, unauthorized occupation of lands. We know also land grabbing. We know that is becoming also a big problem. And we see also that especially in Burkina Faso, a country facing currently very, very huge security issue with terrorist attack and so on. And it's for us important to see how we can involve ourselves and participate to solving this issue of land management. Maybe a little bit to give you a background about the situation in the eastern part of Burkina Faso. There is the presence of IS, the terrorist group IS, and also Al-Qaeda in Africa or in Maghreb, and ACME, or as it's called themselves, and these terrorist groups are using this tension created by this land management partly. It's not only the only issue they are using, but it's an issue they are using because of the let's say, the community are always in conflict because of these land situations. So they are using that to create even more tension between several communities. So, and pushing them to leave their region, to leave their lands, and then they come and occupy this land. So,
okay, just a quick question there, Larba. I didn't mean to cut you off there. So now, how does the current infrastructure work so that we're actually talking about this project actually making an impact, right? So like, what type of systems are in place there currently in Africa? Because somebody like myself who lives in the United States, I guess for us, and trying to understand what the situation actually looks like there on the ground, maybe just a little bit of context as to the current, because we've described the problem, but like, what does the actual infrastructure in place look like right now?
Okay, so basically, the experience what I know is that in many countries, the people are even using papers as mean of registration, or in the best case is maybe Excel or there's not, and that is not, let's say, a real integrated solutions.
Oh, wow. So like
system.
Spreadsheets.
Oh,
really, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's, and you can imagine, I give you an example of Burkina Faso. If a municipality decided to split a land and to give it to people, so the people will subscribe for this registration, and then the people with the most chances will get the land, and they started to write it on paper. And if someday, maybe 6 months later or 3 months later, they put it in Excel, and then from that part until it gets to the central register in the capital city, Ouagadougou, may take 2 years. Maybe in these 2 years, the owner of the land has changed. So, and that is really a big problem. So there is no reliable record of lands. So that is the situation. You don't have an integrated system for managing land.
I see. Okay. It's a big problem to be addressing there. I think that it's a focus that you are making right now in Burkina, or did I say that correctly?
iFoncier.
iFroncier. No, the name of the place where you're going to be focusing on?
Burkina Faso.
Burkina Faso. Okay.
Yes.
These names, I gotta go slow with the names.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are focusing there, but then I guess I'm sure it's a very similar problem in other parts of Africa as well, right? So like, I guess, would this be some type of pilot that you guys are focusing on to test and implement this so that you can refine it later down the road, and I guess kind of spread this technology even further?
Yeah. Maybe Josh, you can say something about Nigeria. I think that's the same issue.
Right. So first of all, thanks for having me, Pritesh. Yeah, I mean, land is the biggest asset across Africa, and sadly enough, it is poorly managed across Africa as well. So the problem we have in Burkina Faso is same in Nigeria, same in Ghana, same in almost all the countries spread across Africa. So yes, we're trying. The approach we're taking with this is more of like a pilot, like you said. So we already got like an MOU signed in a municipality, which Larba is going to talk about, and we are treating it like a pilot, right? So whatever happens, how we go about this, if it's a success, then yes, we want to roll out, in more cities, and hopefully ultimately in more countries across Africa. So yes, we face the same problems. So if you're in Nigeria or in Africa, well, mostly in Nigeria, you see like in lands and properties, and they write things like, not for sale or 419, be aware. 419 is like a code for scammers. This land is not for sale. Why? Because people, resellers, they sell these lands over and over again. And if you try to, you're in diaspora, you try to buy land in Africa, you understand why this solution is needed, because it's a pain point that spreads across Africa, and we all suffer from the same problem. So it's something that is known to us, but there hasn't been an approach like this, built on the blockchain, which is a trustless, decentralized system. And it just fits. It makes a lot of sense that you would onboard this kind of solution on the blockchain and allow for the people to use a better system to manage their lands.
So maybe I can add something about that, that we are also discussing with other countries. In the last days and weeks, I had some talk with other countries. For example, Mauritania might be a target country, and Senegal. And so that's because it's the same problem. They are facing the same problem.
Gotcha.
And that is why we think it might be, let's say, a good start when we can then have Burkina Faso as pilot.
I see. Yeah, and the point that you made there, Larba, when you were talking about how you've got terrorist groups coming in to these countries and destabilizing these societies. So I think that the idea of being able to verify land on the blockchain, it's very important, I guess, for just the standpoint of digital ownership, right? How can we verify that I actually am the owner of this land? I mean, if a family is unfortunately displaced due to anything like war or famine or anything like that, to be able to say, yes, I did live here, I own the property that my house is currently plotted on. So let's get into that a little bit. As far as the technology side of things, so we're talking about blockchain land registration, basically. So how does that work exactly? Are you guys talking about tokens, NFTs that are going to represent these plots of land? I guess, can we talk a little bit more about the technology side of it?
Okay. So from this technology perspective, we have, what we want to do is that we have blockchain as the let's say, the back-end system for the database, and recording the metadata and so on. And in the same way, we want to put in parallel a document management system to record the existing document of land, the ownership, because the government is issuing normally documents for ownership. And so we want to store those documents in a document management system. And from that back end, we are moving to the northern part of the technology, and we come to the consolidation layer. And this consolidation or mediation layer would like to have a DeFi system and NFT to make sure that we can use that as market place for sell and buy lands, for example. So to make sure that there is no scamming and when it's come to sell and buy for lands. So that is the first, the mediation layer. And from the front, let's say, user front end part, we would like to have a web interface, meaning here with your browser, or I don't know, you can have access then to verify the informations. And also in parallel, would like to have mobile applications, and this mobile application should be used to do the same thing. But important for us, and that is one of our let's say one of our milestones, is also to give the possibility to the people without internet access, people from the let's say remote areas, which who are mostly using feature phones, which is not smartphones, yeah, and to be able to send SMS, for example, or to make a combination of codes and get information about the lands. and all the information, registry information to get it. And that is why in our plant, we would discuss with the telco operators to use the USSD coding and to be able to make this solution available to everybody also in the remote area. So that is basically what we want. And of course, we'll have some, let's say, interfaces, let's say, for let's say corporations and so on who want to get directly access to the platform without using all the web page and so on. And that is the corporate solution. Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Very cool. So you guys are talking about some type of app that would show this information. Yes. Interesting to know about some type of marketplace. So you're actually going to be able to see if there is a plot of land available, and can you actually purchase it with tokens or like? I'm really curious. This is kind of opening up a whole can of worms for me, like with questions.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, lands are non-fungibles, right? So when you say you are tokenizing lands, you're inevitably making lands NFTs, right? They become NFTs. So in the future, we're looking at a future for Africa where a farmer in Burkina Faso can say, hey, I want to lend my land, right? Opening that market for them to, take, use app or send a USSD code, and it interfaces directly to the app, and that farmer can use that land to borrow money, maybe on liquid, and provide that NFT as a collateral, right? That's the future we're trying to open.
Wow.
That's the future we're trying to open for Africa. It has never been done anywhere, but it is possible, right? It's possible now, and thank God we're given the opportunity, through the MOU we're signing, to actually test that out and create a pilot to see what that would look like in the future. So definitely land to become NFTs in Africa, and that's the future we're shooting for.
That's so cool. Okay, so you had mentioned liquid there. So having a tokenized piece of real estate would allow you to even earn yield on it. So it's like, wow, this is really incredible. I think what you guys are building is pretty interesting. I just the concept to me is so new, and hearing about the progress that you guys have made already. So can we talk a little bit about some of the progress that you guys have made? Josh, you had mentioned the MOU. What does that look like exactly?
Okay, well, so recently we got a memorandum of understanding from the government of Burkina Faso in a particular municipality, but I'll let Larba speak about it because he has more information on that.
So basically what the MOU is saying is that, let's say first our approach of implementing our solution is that we want to take everybody part of the solution. So as I said, you need to go, because land management is such a difficult issue. Land management is a part of everybody. You need to find a way how you can involve everybody, for the people who are doing the job day by day in this management of land. So what we see in Burkina Faso and most of the countries, the first institution which is in charge of managing land is the municipality. So that is the starting point in the process. So we have decided, instead of going to the central government, we go to the municipalities, a decentralized solution anyway. So we go there and discuss with the municipality, and because they are solving every day the issue of conflict, the conflict there, they see the community conflict. They are in the first front of solving these issues. So they have more pain points than anybody else. So that is why we are discussing with them, and we have a lot of municipalities interested in doing in taking part of these solutions, and but we are organizing ourselves, and we started in our process with one municipality, as we take this municipality as a pilot one, and when we get this ready, we are always in discussion of. There is a kind of association of the municipalities in Burkina Faso, So we are discussing with them, and we will go step by step in the progress. When we finish the first municipality, then the next one. But we are always negotiating currently with the different municipality to get for each one a memorandum of understanding. So in this case, we are really the mayor of the city is really excited to be the first.
Yeah,
it's very nice, and we also want them to be part of even from the revenue side. It is important because that is why we talk about cooperatives as our organization. So it's kind of participative. Everybody gets something of these solutions, and especially the municipality will be then able to finance other projects, which is not always only related to technology, or so they can create new they can help to solve socio-economic issues in their municipalities. That is our how we want to involve the people. So
sure.
in this case, we are discussing also with landlords, with let's say all the people in the chain, the government also, and but we don't want to be stop. That is why we started to go from the grassroots in order decentralize before we go to finalize with the central government.
I gotcha. So iFonsey. So what you guys are wanting to do is form these partnerships with these local municipalities first.
Okay.
And, like you were talking about, so forming this pilot, right? Testing, implementing, so then you can branch out and go further. The incentive part of it is really interesting to me. I love how we can create incentives because we're using blockchain technology. Rewarding everybody who participates actually makes it so that people are actually going to act in the best interest of the collective, right? So we're all kind of working together for this common goal. So cool stuff there. And you guys actually have a Project Catalyst proposal as well for Fund 6.
Yes.
So can we let's take a look at that proposal. Can you guys tell us a little bit about that as well?
Okay. So basically, we are taking part to the sixth fund for the Catalyst program, and we have submitted it already, and we are very, very keen and happy to see that there are some interest. People are showing that it's really, in fact, a big issue in Africa, and so. What we can say is that we describe in let's say in different. We couldn't put everything there because it's a process. It's ongoing. There's a dynamic behind, and as I said, for example, the negotiation we have the municipalities. What we also the involvement of elders, local elders chambers or elders communities or commissions. To get part of the process, and that's we cannot describe in the proposal since there is the time limit. And what we have submitted for the first step, a budget we need almost around about 65,000, somewhere there, $64,000 US, and that is we will then from our progress, we will work with African developers. We want to build their capacity. So as developer, and that is interesting here is that we are partnering with ABCD, which is specialized in capacity building, creating developers for blockchains, and we want to use it to partner with those organizations to build it, so to create. That is why in our program, in our description, we didn't really say so. We have 10 developers and so on. No, we have what we need to do here is a proper management of the project. But we have solution architect in our list of experts in the let's say what we have described in Catalyst. But we, as we said, we will hand over the development work to partners in this case as subcontractors, but we want them also to be part of the journey. Yeah. Okay. So that is basically what we are doing, and yeah, we try to describe. We also put some videos to give ideas about the situation. Yeah, we cannot put everything there, but as we are discussing with the municipality are, for example, ready to share any information if the people want, for in terms of statistics and so on, to let us people know how crucial, how important it is to solve this situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, and I'm really fascinated by your proposal. So I guess what you guys are doing in terms of the funding is really just to build it, right? So you want to pay your people, makes a lot of sense to see that. And I guess the cost also for the legalities of dealing with these municipalities, I'm sure that's also going to be a part of that budget. But for anybody who does want to check out their proposal, would really recommend it. So it's going to be taking place in Fund 6. So what I'll do is go ahead and leave this link. So if anybody does want to check this out, just be sure to check that out in the description. And it's really interesting too. I just wanted to briefly change gears just a little bit because Larba, you had described that you're really trying to focus a lot on some of these telco companies as well, who are going to help with the issue of people not actually even having internet connection.
Yes.
Right. So I'm sure that's another facet of this project, being that we are kind of bringing about this blockchain technology, and the solution you're building is going to run using blockchain, which requires the internet. I want to ask your opinions and your thoughts on what does that actually look like in order to help with the connectivity, because there is a project right now, World Mobile. So they are, I guess their whole ethos is kind of to connect the unconnected. And I think that fits in perfectly. So is there any partnerships forming there, or like, are you guys forming synergies to try and facilitate that infrastructure with where you're focusing, or what does that look like for you?
I mean, totally. These are things that we are also looking at. Sorry, Lab, for cutting you there, but there is communication in that direction. It just makes a lot of sense because you know, you want to connect you know, local communities to, you know, a dynamic market like the one we're talking about. There needs to be some, you know, connectivity, actual connectivity, you know, communication going on there, and it just makes a lot of sense for you to start, you know, putting that, you know, in the pipeline as part of the things you need to make available. And, you know, as Lava said, the project has grown beyond, you know, the initial submission stage, right? So from that time to where we are right now, there's been a lot of work in the pipeline going on to establish that that connection, just so that when we have the pilot, it, you know, it's going to make sense when we start, you know, having people come on board. Because how do you even get people to register their land when you're not connected to the internet, right? So it just makes a lot of sense for you to get that going. So to that point, yes, we have some communications going, you know, in the backseat. I can't give more details on that, but there's communications on that.
Maybe from my side also to give my opinion about, I like the World Mobile because for instance, this is my field of expertise. And this I was traveling in the last 4 years, 4 and 5 years. I was traveling across Africa, and I could see how it is a big problem, and how there have been some experiences how they can solve this issue of unconnected regions. Yeah, and I work with some mobile or telco operators, and also different initiatives, even some other big names. But it is a big issue if you don't, if you want to, because of the complexity of the cost behind. I mean, the building infrastructure, such an infrastructure as we know, mobile infrastructure, let's say fiber optical infrastructure, is a big issue, and that is why I like the idea of the let's say, the world mobile, because it's give the opportunities like we know in the sharing energy and so on. In the same way, you can use as hotspots the member of the community as hotspots. It's very exciting, and I have check it a little bit, and I'm very exciting. And as Joshua said, we have some discussion there, and it is at the beginning. If we start, there is a lot of applications, and one of these important applications for us to integrate is in case how to make the people accessible, to give them access to internet. You have teachers, you have nurses in far away from let's say cities. How can you give them the possibility, for example, the nurses, to share medical information to the others, to other nurses, to maybe to get experience, or to get in touch remotely with specialist doctors and so on, and also a teacher to share the information, and to that is a lot of things be going there. We think it can happen there, and that is why for me is something we would like to integrate it in our discussion are ongoing. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be great to keep up with your progress there. I think that there's a lot of synergies with what you guys are working on and the World Mobile Group as well. So awesome to hear about that. You know, it's one of those things that myself personally, anyway, who's living in the United States, one of the real benefits of being able to have these conversations with you guys, you know, Josh and Larba, considering your backgrounds as well, and that you guys are actually living it. You know, you guys are in Africa and you see firsthand the problems that people are experiencing. So, you know, just for me to ask these questions very openly, it's also provided me with a lot of insight to understand what are the main problems that people in these parts of the world are facing. And I love the idea of what you're building also with the land registration, right? I mean, that's, is there going to be the possibility in the future, I guess, just kind of going back to that topic with what you're building. So now can people actually create homes as part of this initiative? Like, are you guys going to be tokenizing houses that are built on top of the land, or are you guys going to be doing any type of profit sharing for, say, somebody who might own this land that's generating yield because of crops that they grow? Like, as it's a token, are there's going to be any type of like residuals that are paid, or how does that work exactly?
So Josh, you want to go? Or?
Yeah, sure. I mean, well, on that note, the sky is the limit, right? We are basically at this point focusing on getting the registry system up, and then there's several directions we could explore, right? Because that just opens. Once that is done, the foundation, the base is solidified, then we have a lot of experience and a lot of confidence in actually exploring other aspects. Like before we do the NFT, we have to make sure we have solidified the management system, and then there's also identity, right? You need to solidify identity, and other verification process that goes into all of that before you start thinking about yields and all of that. But it's also in the plan, right? But our focus right now is getting the pilot up. But yes, definitely, like I said in the beginning, we are looking at all the possibilities that this solution would unfold, and we plan to actualize all of them in the future.
Maybe to
Nice.
add in that perspective also, in fact, it is a journey. And as a journey, you are, when you start, you are seeing some lot of interesting things, but you need to stay also focused in order to get the first thing start. That is our main focus yet. But we have some discussion about how can we make it even more attractive for people? How can we make it even more, can we make it so interesting for everybody to be part of the journey? And this case, as we know, management of land, in general, is a big issue, but it's also a big opportunities. We see a lot of, you take, for example, countries like Burkina Faso, everybody want to have its own home, yeah, and so on. How? And the government is trying to find also solution community solutions, how to create, let's say, to build based on the community participation, and could be one of the solutions we can give to the people to be really part of the journey and to go in that field of let's say constructing or building, let's say, in general. So there is a lot of possibilities there, and we are exploring them all. What is really relevant for our region, and when we are ready, the next solution will start.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just taking a look at the proposal. There's actually an outlined roadmap of some milestones that you guys are going to be keeping track of. So this proposal is, I got to say, is very well laid out. And I think from what we were talking about here with all the possibilities in the future, with creating the solid foundation that you guys are creating with this phase one, right? So according to this proposal, it shows enrollment of 3 municipalities. So about 185,000 inhabitants. I mean, that's small, but then it's still also huge to be able to test something like this out. And then as far as the people who are working on this also, so Larba, this shows a little bit about your background, but while you're here on the chat, I think it would be great for you to just kind of tell us about some of the things that you've seen, and I guess from your past experience, how you want to work on this project and what your future plans are for it.
So, for instance, I think the most important part for us here as Africans, and that is why we also love Cardano, is that we Africans are taking ownership of of solving our issues, and that is the first important thing for me. And in this case, working with experts, local African experts, is for us a priority. We want to involve young developers, African developers, into these things. We need to start from scratch, probably, yeah. But we need to work with them, to give them the chance to start to do something, and that is why it is we have the patience. Of course, we will have some specialists or experts, experienced experts, to be as mentoring these people, but also to making sure that we have a solid architecture, we have solid implementation plan, and also the quality management, that the quality is assured, that we don't have, let's say, solution which is not solid, which is not really well developed. And but we want to give the chance to the young developers we are working with. We want to take this senior expert to guide them and to be their mentor, and that we can create a critical mass of developer also in Africa, which is also can be contributing to the development of blockchain and worldwide. So that is our ambitions, and we are open, and of course we are open to get also suggestion from other regions. There is for sure is not the first solution worldwide in terms of land management with blockchain. So if there is some experience we can learn from, we are open to do it. And but we want to focus on, we want to build it on our own, and with the young developers, the African developers.
Okay, and that's a perfect segue. So Josh, you had mentioned the exciting collaborations going on between this project and ABCD. So I guess if you want to talk a little bit about that, some of the progress that you guys are making with actually getting some of these young African developers up to speed with coding on Cardano.
Right. So thank you again. I mean, if you know me in the community, I'm all about Africa. I'm all about, getting young Africans to come on board on blockchain, learn how to write smart contracts, and, build solutions that are bespoke to Africans. And, I've been here on the show before talking about ABCD before we started, and thank God we have started. I mean, looking back at where we're coming from, And, the conversation is totally different now. We're talking about actually implementing, being part of a great project like this and having them, test their skill and also, work on something this powerful and this important for a continent like Africa, right? So it's a dream come true for me. I got into like the whole ecosystem because of land, right? Because Charles was talking about how we could use blockchain technology to actually solve, land disputes and, land registry and management. So it feels like, full circle. I got in here because I thought it was possible. And, I'm part of a project that's actually trying to make that possible. So it's like full circle. So we talk about, how it's very exciting for me to have the our developers. Currently, we have 14 developers going through their first cohort in partnership with the Mogul. And, having this project and thinking, knowing that they have the opportunity to build on something this powerful, just, makes me really excited, right? So, I mean, they're learning smart contract, right? And if you pair that up with land registry, the preparation, signing, and preservation of contract is a huge part of, property management and ownership transfer, right? So the procedure and costs involved in writing and establishing legal contracts tend to be avoided by citizens due to flawed legal system of most African locals, right? So having our developers at the forefront of writing these contracts so important for a project like this, and also for a continent like Africa, which is facing huge problem when it comes to land management and the adverse effects like disputes and fights and bloodshed and all of that. It's really huge and it means a whole lot to me. I'm a person that I'm always involved in project that is purpose driven, and having my people being part of this is exciting.
It really is. And I remember when we were having our earlier conversations, when ABCD was an idea, and
Right.
here we are, like you said, full circle, man. It's pretty incredible now that the landscape has changed. We see smart contracts now on Cardano. We've got people that are building, they're passionate, they see the problems and they know that there's a solution, and they're getting to work. So it's very exciting, man. And I'm so glad to see your mission really just kind of taking off, because I think that what we're building here, we're like a small group of people, like pioneers, so to speak, who's kind of figuring out what are some of these problems, how can blockchain solve some of these problems. So kudos to both of you guys. I'm so excited about what's happening in Africa. I think in terms of developing economies and being able to actually integrate blockchain technology with what Cardano is building, we were talking about a whole bunch of things, right? Like digital identities. We're talking about DeFi, tokenizing land. Just insane just to think about, like all the utility and use cases that are soon going to be available. So guys, I wanted to just leave the floor open up to you for any last minute questions or remarks or anything like that, if you guys wanted to talk about anything last minute. But I'm excited to see this project really start to take off. I think it's incredible progress that you both have made already with these MOUs that you've signed with these local municipalities. That's a step in the right direction. So looking forward to that as well, and also your Project Catalyst proposal. Exciting stuff there, guys. Exciting stuff. So if there was anything you guys wanted to sign off with, we can go ahead and go for that. But looking forward to this project.
I mean, it's a lot of exciting project that I've been involved in over the years, and I'm really grateful for given the opportunity to actually be here in these conversations and pioneering some of these projects. Regarding land registry systems in Africa, most developing countries lack an efficient land registry system here in Africa. So, and they also lack the efficient technology and infrastructure for land ownership and management and security also. So the crisis emanating from these mishaps have exhibited a destructive ripple effect, not only on social security, but also on the economic prosperity of African nations. So I'm really excited about being in the forefront and also being in the conversation at this time to actually not just build it, but also lead and have young people look at what we're doing and see that there's possibility for them to change so many sectors and so many things in their country using blockchain technology. It's exciting for me, and I'm happy to be here and being part of this project.
So from my side, I would like also to thank you for giving us the opportunity to come to your show and to talk about something which will be transformative for us in Africa. And I think what we may sometimes not thinking about is that Africa, you need disruptive changes, and in order to get the continent moving forward, and you need people, pioneers, to do it. And of course, what we are building might not be perfect. We will face some challenges, of course, and there is risk involved in this in each project. We know that, and but we are confident that with more energy, with the support of the different people, and for instance, the Cardano communities, we will find solutions for the issue we'll be facing. And the only thing I would like to do is that to make an appeal to the people that for us and the Catalyst project to support us in that regard. Because we want to of course, to project like that, you need also the resources for this, and it will help us to continue our journey. And I'm really thankful to all of the people who has already shown support to us. And let's do it. Let's make management of land in Africa easier and sustainable, and also in the long term, and to help to eliminate or reduce community tensions, to reduce dispute, or even to reduce deadly conflict. And that is the most important thing we need to see here. And of course, it's bringing development to the continent, and that is also not a small side effect. So it is it's very, very nice to be part of this project. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. No, my pleasure. Learned a lot from our conversation. Just huge use cases there for Africa and what you guys are building with iFonsey. I mean, just being able to tokenize land. We're talking about NFTs, DeFi, all that kind of stuff being integrated into your platform as well. So I can't wait to keep up with your progress. I'm really excited about the opportunities that you guys are going to be bringing to Africans with this project. And I'm so excited to keep up with it. So guys, thank you so much. I learned a lot from our conversation. I just wanted to say, wish you all the best with your Project Catalyst proposal. And hope to speak with you again soon to keep up with your progress. So Larba and Josh with iFonsey, thank you so much, guys. Really enjoyed our conversation today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
My pleasure.